Sorry ass DJ.
Hey everybody, how you doing out there? And welcome to the next Ranking the Victims' Death. I am on Jason X now. We have 21 deaths here, so I'm not going to go through my whole little speech I like to usually do because I just want to jump right into the deaths. But the only thing I will mention, just like Jason Goes to Hell, we do have another death where Jason does die before he becomes Uber Jason. Number 21, young security guard. He's the second person that they actually show. They show Jason first. He's actually chained up. He sees the security guard. The young guy's like very nervous, comes on over, tosses a cover over him. We get Ronan and a couple military people chatting for like a moment. The military people come on in, cover off of him, and there's the young boy chained up, just like Jason was, chained around his neck, a little bit of blood on his face. I mean, you knew something was going to happen. I mean, one security guard, really. Number 20 is going to be Kinza. Now, with her, she doesn't even die by Jason. It's just, she just does something very stupid. She's on this small ship that everybody else was going to try to get to. She decides to, get a little too scared about Jason. She pushes a button, closes the door on everybody out, trying to convince her to actually open up the door so they can all just get the hell out of there. And she's like, no, freaks out. So she starts actually trying to leave the ship without anybody else. The ship is still connected to the fuel line. And what happens is that her little ship runs right into the big ship, and she's the only one that blows up. So a little kind of questionable there, thinking, well, why the whole ship didn't just blow up and everyone would have been dead. I know, because the movie would have only been like, an hour? But I just thought that's another really stupid death there. Number 19 is going to be Sarge. Love this guy from beginning to end, but I hate his death in this. Pretty much the ship is about to explode. You actually get Jason and Sarge walking towards each other. The ship does blow up. Jason's kind of going towards the ship that a couple of our survivors are actually on. And Sarge catches Jason and pretty much rides Jason like a horse into Earth 2, and they both burn up in the atmosphere, and I'm like, yeah, again, stupid. Number 18 is going to be Sven. You got him with two of the women there, and he actually kind of looks around the corner after the women are already gone because he's behind them there. Then you got Jason, who pulls this guy back in the hallway where him and the ladies were coming from, and he snaps his neck, just drops him. Jason kind of looks at him for like a few seconds and walks away. Number 17 is going to be Azrael. And him and Dallas were kind of playing a little alien simulation game. Jason is about to go beat up on Dallas. Ezreal decides to jump on Jason and try to start like he's going to choke him out. Jason pretty much just swings the guy around and breaks his neck and just kind of tosses him to the side. I like the whole toss to the side more than the death itself. Number 16 is a character named Waylander. Now, he's another one that actually kills himself, where he has the remote control. They're about to blow up a particular part of the ship. That everybody else is actually out of that room except Waylander and Jason. And he's like, hey, pal. And he pushes the button. And of course, 9 out of 10 times, the sidekick not going to destroy the villain in any way there. But at least nice try, because he decided to sacrifice himself to save the others. Number 15 is Dallas. After Ezreal actually gets killed, Jason goes right up to Dallas, grabs him from the back of the head, and starts smashing his face on the wall there like 2 or 3 times, and then just drops the guy. And I don't know, I always kind of get a little chuckle out of that one there. Not, it's not bad. But another one right next door at number 14 is Crutch. He's actually about to fly the ship here because something actually happens to another pilot. Well, unfortunately, he sees another character who's already dead. Jason grabs this guy, I believe, from the neck, and actually smacks this guy on the wall where there's control panels there, and there's like sparks going on and a little bit of fire going on, and then just kind of drops the guy. So I kind of like both of them, but I like this guy, his head being crushed or smashed on a wall more than Dallas. But again, I still like them both. That's why I kind of have them back to back. Number 13 is Lou, and he's the one that actually dies, and Crutch actually has to take over as pilot. Jason's right behind him. He looks up. Jason does his thing with the machete, and then they actually show the control panel, and there's a little bit of blood splat that goes on. But it's the aftermath that made him at least go up a little higher. But we kind of get like little like body parts and pieces of skin all over the control panel and all that. And I thought, again, that's just something else that I thought was like, that's pretty cool. Number 12 is a character named Briggs. All we really get from her is she's already hanging and swinging on a cargo hook. I believe it was Sarge that actually finds her, but we don't exactly know what Jason did. I assume just tossed her on there, but all we get's the aftermath of that there, where Sarge is like, hey, where's Briggs? And here she comes like swinging on by. So it's like, yeah, it's an okay death. I wish we would have seen what exactly Jason did to her. Number 11 is Gecko. Now with her, she's actually walking backwards, which we already know in horror movies that's a big no-no. She ends up landing right in front of Jason there. Jason, grabs her, gets the machete by her neck. You kind of get a little like, gasp from her there. Then we actually see her walking towards another grunt there, and her neck is sliced. And I like the effects on the neck. Number 10 is Professor Lowe. But this is the guy that says, hey everybody, he just wanted his machete back. And it turns out they're all in a room together. Jason jumps through a window. Everybody escapes except Professor Lowe. After he says that line, they go to where everybody else is. You hear him screaming. And then this is where Crutch actually sees Professor Lowe's head. His head is just hanging off, or actually was stabbed with Jason's machete. So I kind of like, they're thinking, oh, Professor Lowe actually lived. No, but I thought that was actually kind of a cool distraction to kind of put him in the top 10. Number 9, I'm going with military officers. There's like 4 or 5 of them here, and I just want to kind of do it all at once, where Jason pretty much clears the room with a bunch of these, well, with actually pretty much everybody. He actually throws a chain at someone's neck and pulls them to the ground. 1 or 2 people get like a pole smacked in the back of their head. There's one guy that's shooting at Jason. He actually is holding another guy and then tosses that guy to the guy that was shooting at Jason. And I believe the general actually just get him like slammed against the door. The door opens and there's Ronan, and all you get from him is like, run, I'm sorry. And then we move on to one last person there, which is going to be number 8, and that's going to be Dr. Wimmer. And with him, he actually is running away from Jason, and that metal pole that he smacked 1 or 2 guards with in the, side of their face. He tosses that weapon, the spear goes right through his body. He's holding onto the spear, and then he just falls down to the ground there. Number 7 is Stone. Only him and Kendra just got done having sex. You hear on the intercom that everybody needs to get to a particular room together. So with Stoney, he actually is walking towards the door. The door opens, and there's Jason and just stabs him right in the stomach there. The guy turns around, and on the blade side, Jason grabs it and just like pulls it right through the guy's stomach. He grabs the guy and just pulls him out there. I will admit that was definitely probably the biggest, maybe one of the biggest surprises of this movie. Number 6 is going to be Jason before he becomes Uber Jason. So you get the whole thing where him and the android are actually getting into it, and the android is just kicking Jason's ass. I think maybe he gets a couple little licks in, but like 98% of the time, she is actually she's shooting at him. She's doing different karate moves on him. She's taking him out. Even at one point, she shoots and blows his leg off his body there. He actually falls onto a table, and then she actually shoots like half of his face off, and I just thought, oh, that's wonderful. I think I like that death slightly better than Jason being blown up and Jason goes to hell. Number 5 is going to be Kicker. He was the one where he shoots at Jason. Jason falls, and he actually falls on one of those cargo hooks. Kicker pushes a button, and Jason kind of goes up in the air with the hook. And Kicker's like, Sarge, I got him. And Sarge is like, just don't take your eyes off of him there. Well, of course he does, because Jason pretty much is able to pull himself off this hook. And he does this, and then they kind of jump to a quick little scene real quick, and they go right back to him. He chops him in half, and the guy is actually crawling, and I thought that was really cool. Even though you know it's a CGI shot, I still think it was a really, really good death, really bloody. Number 4 is going to be Janessa. Jason ends up putting a big hole in the ship, so of course people might get sucked out into space. Janessa is hanging onto these metal crates. Well, one of them actually comes off out of the ground, and it hangs right where the big hole is. So she's hanging with one hand. She's trying to reach out to Ronan, and that's not quite working. So you get that line, oh, this sucks on so many levels, and then she gets sucked out. Now, all you hear, I think it was one of the other characters that just screams her name there. They actually don't show her body go and sucking through, but you see like little pieces of skin that's on the metal crate, and I thought, oh, that was good. That was really good to show that. And just have your imagination about how that death would have been there. Number 3 is going to be Virtual Girls. So you got these 2 girls that are supposed to be from 1980. They're drinking alcohol, smoking pot, and they were going to want to have sex with Jason. And the thing is, they go in their sleeping bag. What he does is he kind of goes down. Next thing you know, Jason is using one of the sleeping bags with one of the girls in it and smacking the other one with the sleeping bag kill. And then he actually smacks the one that he was using for a weapon and smacks her against a tree. And I know it's a tribute to part 7 there, but I just get such a chuckle out of that there. Every time I watch this movie and that scene's coming up, I always feel like that's like one of the biggest laughs I actually get in that movie. Number 2 is going to be Condor. One of the only ones that felt like he really had a small chance against Jason. So he's actually up very high. He has his gun with him. He's kind of looking for Jason. Jason comes behind him. Jason does his machete down, and the guy actually kind of like, pretty much is able to spin away. He gets himself up. He punches Jason, even gets kind of an elbow in his face. And then Jason actually clotheslines this guy. The guy falls, and he lands on this big fucking giant screw. And when Jason looks down, you see the guy kind of spinning all the way to the bottom of the screw there. And I thought, ooh, that is definitely going to leave a fucking mark. Number 1 is going to be Adrian. Jason actually wakes up after 2 people just finished having sex. He grabs the doctor, puts her head in the liquid nitrogen, and her face is completely frozen, and then he slams her face on the counter there. Half her face is destroyed, and I love it almost as much as my number 2 there. They are probably the best ones when it comes to the kills, and just pretty much just drops her. So there you folks go. There is my ranking of the victims' deaths here for Jason X. Thank you guys for enjoying this here, and I will see you guys in the next one. Have yourselves a good one. Bye.